All right, so I've had the unfortunate situation of a water landing in the ocean in salt water. So I'm gonna try a little bit of a recovery action here. Got the boat, the blow up boat. I'm gonna go for it.
Commander Stubing. Oh, look at my bag. It's almost in the water. I think it's in that area. Okay, he just found it, just located it now. He's been out there for about an hour and we ran out of real estate a long time ago.
All right, here's my quad after fishing it out of the ocean. I took it all apart, rinsed it off in clean water to get the salt water off, just to see what I could salvage. And I mean, the frame's okay. Some of the bolts are kind of rusted. The motors, a couple of them turn properly, a couple don't. I'd say the motors are probably toast. They might be good for backup motors, but I think a couple of them are just dead. The electronics are just all shot. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just completely corroded. This ESC here burned right off, probably right when it hit the water. The salt water, it just kind of burned right off. I think that antenna's got all sorts of corrosion in it. The camera's no good. And that's about that. I'm just sad that I had to leave the GoPro in the ocean. I'm sure the little guy misses me. I sure miss him. So, boys and girls, that's what happens when you dump your quad in the ocean. All right, so we got another recovery mission going on. So yesterday, I was flying my drone above some water in the ocean, and somehow I had a brain fart or something, and I just hit the water and lost my drone in the water. So it just so happened that I had an inflatable boat in my car, and a big, long golf ball retriever, a 26-foot golf ball retriever. So I paddled out to where I thought the drone went in the water and looked around, kind of looking down in the water for, I don't know, a couple of hours at least. And the water was about anywhere from 8 to 15 feet deep there. And after a couple of hours, I finally I found my GoPro. So I found the GoPro, and then all of a sudden the wind shifted and my boat moved and I lost it. So I kept looking for it. About 15 minutes later, I found the drone. So I poked at it for a while with the golf ball retriever and really couldn't do anything. Couldn't grab it, couldn't bring it up. So my friend was on the shore, and he swam way out in like freezing cold Canadian West Coast water. Hardly able to breathe, it was so cold. Swam out, dove down, and grabbed the drone, threw it in the boat, and swam right back. And you know, after doing that, he was pretty much done. He couldn't go back in the water because, you know, he had so much adrenaline going on. He probably just would have died in the water there. So anyway, I found the GoPro again, and I sat there with the GoPro in view and this big pole kind of grabbing onto the ground so my boat wouldn't move. And my friend found another boat on the shore, brought somebody else out on the boat to swim down. They came out, took a dive at it, couldn't get it. Then all of a sudden the wind came up and my pole broke, and that was sort of it. So I went home and I got this big long pole that's meant to unscrew light bulbs on ceilings. So I've got that, it's 11 feet long, and I've got it attached to another pole. And I'm gonna go out there in my little rubber dinghy, that's this thing here in the back of my truck, and I'm gonna see if I can recover the GoPro. The tide's a little bit lower right now, so the water won't be quite as deep, and I'm just gonna try to find it. And if I find it, I've got a brick with a floaty on it that I'm gonna dump in the water so I can mark it, so I can come back later if I can't get it today. And you know, I think it was an absolute miracle that I found my drone. I think it'd be an even bigger miracle if I found the GoPro now, because it's had all overnight and shifting tides to get all sorts of silt moving around and everything. But it's definitely worth a shot, and I'm gonna get out there in my boat and see what happens. All right, I had to come in because it was super hot out there and I was getting just soaking wet and my arms were getting tired and I pretty much couldn't see anymore. There was just so many little red things down there in the ocean, on the floor of the ocean, like little red bricks and things like that, and it just so happens that my GoPro's in a red housing. So anyway, I just had to come back because I found it! Yeah, so what had happened, I was out there and my boat punctured. So the bottom of the boat started losing air, and so I started beelining it back into shore. There's a truck. So I started beelining it back to shore, and on the way back I just got this little glimpse of something red. So I stopped and chanced it, and used my little light bulb tightener and picked it up. Hey little guy, you were so lonely. I bet you're happy to see me. I'm really happy to see you. Woo!